What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to be checking out this brand new 2025 Ford Bronco Raptor. This one is finished off in Marsh Grey, which is actually more of a tan color, so kind of a funny name. It looks awesome for sure. MSRP on this is $95,000. Do you think this humiliates the 392 Jeep Wrangler? Honestly, I think this is a heck of a lot better. So let's go ahead and see what this Bronco Raptor has to offer. Now, you don't get a V8 under the hood, however, this EcoBoost is quite impressive. Now, you got to have Ford Performance written up above. You got a nice little insulation panel up there as well. So this is a 3-liter twin turbocharged 6-cylinder engine. This EcoBoost V6 makes 418 horsepower with 440 pound-feet of torque. It's a 10-speed automatic, of course, a 4-wheel drive system. Curb weight is 5,700 pounds. It has a 21.1 gallon fuel tank, and you're looking at 15 miles per gallon in the city with 16 out on the highway. And then towing is also 4,500 pounds. You are going to see the 37-inch tires. Of course, you have Fox shocks, and it can ford through 37 inches of water. So that'd be pretty impressive to drive through water to the top of these giant tires. For the lighting, I love the LEDs. You can see that round look to them, really neat. You can also see the 3 lights in the center. We have a forward-facing camera, then Ford is written out. Got a really nice gray color for the grille. There's active grille shutters all behind everything. Got a metal front bumper, recovery hooks, parking sensors, and then rigid LEDs. Down below, we are going to get a nice metal skid plate, and this is just one mean looking SUV. Super cool off-roader. Massive fender flares. You have accessory tie hooks as well. And then on the hood, you can see the name Raptor's written out. Got these nice heat extraction vents, a cool step design for the mirrors, and then heat extraction vents in these front fenders. So definitely super cool looking. Nothing quite like this on the road. Then we have the 37-inch tires with a 17-inch wheel. You can see the nice gloss black color. And then on the back side, we're going to have a nice powder coating for these side steps. These are removable. You can just unbolt them. And then we have these nice rock sliders as well. We're going to see the plastic black for the grab handles, mirror caps. We have the turn signal as well as a camera underneath. And then I noticed that whenever you hit the unlock button, the windows will actually go down. That almost chopped my finger off. All right, this Raptor's trying to get me a little bit, but you can see them pop down when I hit the unlock button. There is a nice sharp body line throughout the door. And then once again, the massive rear fenders, they are huge. And then there's a nice little texture here to help you get in and out. This one's got a body colored roof, which looks really nice. This is all removable. So this back section pops off. There's one panel right here, and then 2 panels for the front. Nice boxy appearance, can't complain. And then I really like these 3-dimensional design for the taillights. A really cool look. Got the Bronco badge, some cool texture up here, full-size spare tire, parking sensors, and recovery hooks as well. You're going to see the trailer hitch in the center with all the plugs, high clearance exhaust, a lot of really cool looking suspension pieces back there. Got the Raptor name as well as a grab handle. So can't complain with the sound. This thing is just so cool. We have a backup camera right in the center, 3rd brake light up above, and we can swing this open and check out the cargo space. Got the gas strut on there, and then manually lift that up. With the seats folded down, we have a pretty good amount of storage space in here. You can see the roll cage and everything for the structure. It says Ford Performance up above. Pretty nice and squared off in here. And underneath the floor, you do have a little bit of hidden storage space with some grab hooks. So nice design overall. There's an LED light in there too. And then closing that up, we can swing this closed. Heading on to the interior now, grabbing the door. You're going to get a nice black interior with some padding up above, more of this padding on the armrest. We have our grab handle, a storage net, and a lift point to remove the doors. All the doors are frameless and removable. And then as you can see, with the seats folded down nice and flat, you do have pretty good cargo space. Lifting these up, got a little bit of weight to them, and then clicking that one into place. The headrests are going to be foldable, that we can have better driver visibility. And then in the center, we have some armrests and cup holders. You're going to get air vents back here, your window controls, and then lots of areas do have extra accessories on the backs of these seats. I love the interior materials with the smooth black leather, and then this really nice micro suede. And we have the handle up here to fold the seats back down. Climbing inside at 5'11", I do sit here pretty good. Pretty nice legroom with the driver's seat at my height, and my feet are fitting well underneath the seat. I wouldn't mind a little more recline back here. Seat bases are quite comfortable, but a little more recline would make this more comfortable. However, you know, you can throw your friends in the back and still have a fun time. I think a car seat would fit fine here too. So if you're going to use this as your family vehicle, you know, I don't think you'll see too many issues there. Climbing out, got a nice little step down, and then taking a look at the front seats now. Door panels finished off just like we saw in back with the cool texture and this padding. Of course, you have your grab handle, storage net, and the same lift point. Ford Performance written out, and you have power controls on these front seats. Once again, the seats are really cool with the leather and this nice micro suede. Really cool bolsters. You got Raptor written up there as well. And then climbing inside, this is a cool place to be. Foot on the brake. Let's fire it up. Got this really nice leather wrap steering wheel with the name Raptor. Got the orange contrast all throughout it, and a huge set of paddle shifters. On the headliner, we also have some sound deadening panels, and you can see all the clips to go ahead and start removing things. There are extra auxiliaries up above, your dome lights, garage door buttons as well. For the steering wheel, we got the Bronco badge, and then we have cruise control and audio on the left. We have more controls on the right side to configure the center screen, so you can go through quite a few different things in this main setup. So lots of vitals you're able to monitor, different off-road features, things like that. So quite nice. And then if we exit out of here and go back, you can go into more information. So you're gonna get a lot of different things you can see in this, which is definitely great for off-roading. Nav will pop up in all of your basic settings. And then underneath, we have a couple shortcuts for our steering feel. You can adjust how stiff you'd like that. We have the same thing for our exhaust. You can open up the exhaust valve, make it louder, even into a quiet mode. And then the suspension dampers will also have an adjustment. The R icon over here, you can see everything right there. Then we have the windshield wipers on the left side. Down below, we do have headlight controls. Then we have some nice texture color, a cool grab handle with more of this contrast. And then the upper dash is finished off in a really nice textured vinyl material with the stitching. We're gonna get sway bar disconnect, locking differentials, trail turn assist, as well as traction control. And then for the center screen, basically what you're used to seeing on a lot of Fords. So all your audio and phone integration, of course navigation is gonna pop up as well with a nice full screen. We have our apps, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and then more settings, and then some features. On the right side, you can scroll up and down, see all sorts of different information, and some of them you can just swipe over. So pretty good layout with what you have. Putting it into reverse, you're gonna see a nice backup camera, top-down view. You can configure a little bit, make some adjustments, and depending on the drive mode, of course, cameras will pop up. Drive select is down here. You have off-road settings. It'll of course configure your traction as well as your four-wheel drive system depending on what mode you're going to be in. You can see the camera pops back up for the front view with some tire tracks. Then we can continue over into more modes within the vehicle with a nice depiction for everything. We also have a shortcut icon right here for the actual camera. And then down below, we have volume, a couple controls, climate controls with a nice little screen, a toggle as well, heated seats and steering wheel, and any change you make will pop up on the screen. So pretty nice and simple. We have storage down below, a little Bronco face, and then a grab handle for your passenger. We also have a couple other controls right in the center. You can see the four-wheel drive. We also have this one right here for the trail control. And then we have window controls, mirror controls, and Raptors written up on the armrest. You have a nice amount of space in the center, and then a lockable glove box on the right side. One last look at the interior of the Bronco Raptor. What you're familiar seeing with a Bronco, but this thing is just loaded with all the coolest materials. Definitely one sweet interior to check out. All right, so setting off now in the Raptor Bronco. This thing is one cool vehicle. So leaving it in just normal mode, we'll go to manual and put the exhaust into the Baja. So we'll get the loudest exhaust, and I will go into suspension sport. So I love how you're able to really fine tune how this drives. You can make it kind of more sporty for the road, or of course more floaty and loose to tackle off-road. We've had one as a press vehicle, and I love driving this in the sport modes because this is actually something you can rip on in the streets. Now the 392 Wrangler doesn't quite do that. It's still going to be an off-road Jeep at the end of the day. This can kind of turn into a street machine to where it is fun. If you play with everything into the sport mode, you know, there's still a ton of body roll. This is an off-roader, but when you're in the right modes, it does sharpen up to where it's fun to rip around on the street. And then of course you can put it into the quiet exhaust, tone down the suspension into off-road, same with the steering, put that into comfort even. And the vehicle totally does relax quite a lot to where it's a lot smoother, softer, and comfortable. And of course that translates to really good off-road capability. This thing is honestly one of the most capable SUVs you could possibly buy. Now, that means there are some sacrifices on road. Even with the little sound deadening panels, it's a little noisy going 45. I mean, you can hear the wind noise for sure. You don't really hear any tire noise. However, the vehicle is shaped like a brick and it has a removable roof, so obviously you're gonna get those downfalls with the wind noise. So that's one of the kind of drawbacks with this. Also, the handling on road just isn't gonna be on par when you compare it to like a normal SUV. So you have some wicked body roll, but the Fox shocks, the massive tires, it does feel decently confident to where I honestly just wouldn't mind daily driving this. Brake dive isn't too bad either. The adaptive suspension is really high tech to where this is actually pretty confident on road, as long as you have the mindset of, you know, this is a hardcore off-road at the end of the day. So I think they've done it a lot better than the way Jeep did with the 392. That is always kind of bad on road. This isn't bad. I would daily drive this. I would totally buy one of these all day long. It is really, really fun to drive. As far as the comfort levels, it is a little bit small feeling in here. I can get the seat in a pretty good position. However, once you kind of pull it back a little bit to give yourself and the front seat passengers a little bit more room, it does start cramping the back seat. But overall, I don't see this being an issue as far as maybe even a family SUV. I wouldn't have this as my primary family SUV. You know, you might want an Explorer or something like that alongside it. But, you know, I could totally see this with a kid in the back, you know, dog in the way back, and do some family events, family road trips, adventures with it. So I think this is pretty family friendly. I think it's comfortable enough, easy enough to drive on the road. You're nice and high up. You got a really good view around. Not too bad for visibility. The only drawback with visibility through the rear view mirror, the third brake light and tire takes up about half of the window. So a little bit cumbersome looking through there. But overall, if you want something that is just a blast, where you're gonna smile 99% of the time, this is something to get. You can drive it on the street like a little race car. It's like a Baja street vehicle. You can put it into the Baja modes and do some high-speed runs in the off-road, or use the off-road settings, sway bar disconnect, lock the diffs, and you can do some rock crawling. So to me, I think this is the most well-rounded off-roader out there. Nearly 6 figures, so it's not cheap. But honestly, this packs so much. I honestly think it's well worth it. This is such a cool vehicle. When we had one as a press vehicle, I loved it. I daily drove that thing all day long, freaking loved it. So if you want something that's awesome, this is awesome. And this is definitely an awesome SUV for on-road and off-road. And it's just really nice to be in it.